Chargers! Stand down! Prim! How'd we do?
5 or 6 wounded, Chief. No dead.
That's what I like to hear. Let the throat cutters finish up, then break out the casks. So, you're with the Inquisition, huh? Glad you could make it. Come on, have a seat. Drinks are coming.
Iron Bull, I presume.
Yeah, the horns usually give it away. I assume you remember Cremisius Aclassi, my lieutenant.
Good to see you again. Throat cutters are done, Chief.
Already? Have them check again. I don't want any of those Tevinter bastards getting away. No offense, Krem.
None taken. At least a bastard knows who his mother was. Puts him one up on you Canary, right?
So, you've seen us fight. We're expensive, but we're worth it. And I'm sure the Inquisition can afford us.
How much is this going to cost me exactly?
Wouldn't cost you anything personally. Unless you want to buy drinks later. Your ambassador, what's her name? Josephine. We'd go through her and get the payments set up. Gold will take care of itself. Don't worry about that. All that matters is we're worth it.
The Chargers seem like an excellent company.
They are, but you're not just getting the boys. You're getting me. You need a frontline bodyguard. I'm your man. Whatever it is. Demons? Dragons? The bigger the better. And there's one other thing. Might be useful. Might piss you off. Ever hear of the Ben Hasra?
They're a Kunari organization, right? The equivalent of their guards in City Watch.
I'd go closer to spies. But yeah, that's them. Or, well, us. The Ben Hasrath are concerned about the breach. Magic out of control like that could cause trouble everywhere. I've been ordered to join the Inquisition, get close to the people in charge, and send reports on what's happening. But I also get reports from Ben Hasrath agents all over Orlais. You sign me on, I'll share them with your people.
You're a Kunari spy and you just told me.
Whatever happened at that Conclave thing is bad. Someone needs to get that breach closed. So whatever I am, I'm on your side.
You still could have hidden what you are.
From something called the Inquisition. I'd have been tipped sooner or later. Better you hear it right up front from me.
What would you send home in these reports of yours?
Enough to keep my superiors happy. Nothing that'll compromise your operations. The Canari want to know if they need to launch an invasion to stop the whole damn world from falling apart. You let me send word of what you're doing, it'll put some minds at ease. That's good for everyone.
What's in these Ben Hasrath reports you're offering to share?
Enemy movements, suspicious activity, intriguing gossip. It's a bit of everything. Alone they're not much, but if your spy master is worth a damn, she'll put him to good use.
She?
I did a little research. Plus, I've always had a weakness for redheads.
All right, you're in.
Excellent. Krem, tell the men to finish drinking on the road. The Chargers just got hired.
What about the casks, Chief? We just opened them up with axes.
Find some way to seal them. You're Tevinter, right? Try blood magic. We'll meet you back at Haven.
Those must be the bandits Harding mentioned.
What discipline achieves. We came first from the sea. The dreadnoughts took Parvalan at a stroke. We marched on the land called Seharan, then Ravane and the Deventer Imperium. Our Vidathari told us that the Deventer capital of Gunarthus was unassailable. Though it did not fall, its walls were cracked with steel and Blackwall fire. Deventer saw what discipline achieves. The Baz called us conquerors when we brought them purpose. When we, Masrans, teach a child to read, or a wilderness is made fruitful, is that conquest. Without the certainty of the Qun, there can be no reason. The Baz raised 3 retaliations against our forces, pushing back in Antiva and Ravane. The Kebathari, still adapting to the Qun's rule, suffered worst. The very people the Baz sought to liberate. The land burned while the Baz called us savages. Such madness and hypocrisy needed another answer. We signed the treaties of the Baz to silence them and left. We will return. Patience is the manifestation of self-control. While the Baz bicker amongst themselves, we prepare. What is the time compared to the demands of the Qun? The Qun. Long ago, the Ashkari lived in a great city by the sea. Wealth and prosperity shone upon the city like a sunlight, and still its people grumbled in discontent. The Ashkari walked the streets of his home and saw that all around him were the signs of genius, triumphs of architecture, artistic masterpieces, the palaces of wealthy merchants, libraries, and concert halls. But he also saw signs of misery, the poor, sick, lost, frightened, and the hopeless. And the Ashkari asked himself, how can one people be both wise and ignorant, great and ruined, triumphant and despairing? So the Ashkari left the land of his birth, seeking out other cities and nations, looking for a people who had found wisdom enough to end hopelessness and despair. He wandered for many years through empires filled with palaces and gardens, but in every nation of the wise, the great, and the mighty, he found the forgotten, the abandoned, and the poor. Finally, he came to a vast desert, a wasteland of bare rock clawing at the empty sky, where he took shelter in the shadow of a towering rock and resolved to meditate until he found his answer or perished. Many days passed until one night, as he gazed out from the shadow of the rocks, he saw the lifeless desert awaken. 100,000 locusts hatched from the barren ground, and as one they turned south. A single wave of moving earth. The Ashkari rose and followed in their wake. A path of devastation miles wide, and once verdant land turned to waste, and the Ashkari's eyes were opened. Existence is a choice. There is no chaos in the world, only complexity. Knowledge of the complex is wisdom. From wisdom of the world comes wisdom of the self. Mastery of the self is mastery of the world. Loss of the self is the source of suffering. Suffering is a choice, and we can refuse it. It is our own power to create the world, to destroy it, and the Ashkari went forth to his people.
Not as many ships as I expected.
These must be the missing soldiers.
Murdered. Shit.
Someone should pay for this.
It looks like the bandits are camped further along the beach.
Bandit notes. These notes were found near murdered Inquisition soldiers. The paper is not crumpled or torn as though it were left behind instead of dropped. It's not our place to disagree. They're attempting to set themselves up along the shore, and we have orders. We are the sword, not the hand that wields it. You taught me that. If they're worthy, let them come with the Mercy's crest. The blades of Hissarion will listen. You will only get yourself cast out or worse.
Our men were murdered by a group called the Blades of Hissarion.
If you're interested, it looks like we can challenge their leader.
Naming themselves after the sword that killed Andraste. Ambitious.
to report, sir.
Someone's come with a challenge.
The others failed.
So you would challenge the blades of Hassarian?
There's been enough violence. Stand down.
I earned my place here. Do you think I'll step aside for you?
Done.
Provided no one stabs you in the back on the way out.
At your service, Your Worship.
Your Worship, the blades of Hassarian are at your service. If you want eyes on the coast, here we are.
I've not heard of the Blades of Hassarian.
Our work is often misunderstood, but we serve Andraste and whoever proves worthy of wielding us.
You and your blades are loyal to the Inquisition?
We're loyal to you. I suppose that's the same thing, Your Worship.
So there's no ill will over what happened with your former boss?
The man was a bastard. You're not the first to stand up to him. You're just the first to win, and we're happy with that. Besides, I would rather swear my life to the Herald of Andraste.
Do you have anything to report?
Nothing of note, Your Worship.
I should go.
Safe travels, Your Worship.
You alright?
I was just a girl. But I remember them, you know.
I know. We'll be safe here.
A bitter note. A note presumably penned by the Blade's former leader. I do not care what the Inquisition claims. They lie to serve their own purpose. Do not listen to their corruption. These hills belong to the Blades of Hassarian. Have I not been good to you? You will follow my will as you would follow the will of Andraste. So you have sworn. The conversion of Hassarian. Beloved Andraste, sit well at the Maker's side and know my sorrow, for my heart was weak until it served your greater glory. As she was my enemy, I heeded the word of the betrayer, and so sentenced her to die. Thus she was bound upon the pyre so that all might bear witness. But as the prophet burned, a silence fell, for though flame licked mortal flesh, she would not cry. The hearts of the people filled with shame, and all were silent with her. I thought it defiance, and though I marveled at her strength, my heart was yet unmoved. It was then the prophet raised her eyes, her visage wreathed with sacred flame. It was then I saw her sorrow and her acceptance. I felt the flame eat mine own flesh. I felt its slow death upon me and knew her suffering. Through flame I walked and drove the sword into her heart, and so the prophet was released. The Maker whispered in my ear, and I knew I had become the instrument of his will. Hard and Hightown, Chapter 2, by Varric Tethras. Magistrate Dunwald's butler had the air of a man who had never risen before dawn in his life. He stared down his nose at Donan Brenokovic and his partner Jevlin as if he were on some lofty balcony above them instead of standing in the parlor in his dressing gown. The magistrate is indisposed. This can wait until a reasonable hour. He gestured for the guards to see themselves out. The magistrate is dead, Donan corrected him. Wake the household. As the butler left, Jevlin shifted uneasily in his new armor. Shouldn't the captain be here? You want to go back to the barracks? Be my guest, Donan said with a shrug, only half listening as he studied the collection displayed in the room. A dozen ancient swords lay nestled in display cases, protected from dust and prying fingers. He moved to lift the lid of the nearest one. Jevlin started to protest, but then the doors opened. She had eyes the color of topaz and dark hair that fell across her brow like sword strokes. She strolled into the parlor with such dignified elegance that Donan didn't realize for several minutes that she was clad in a housecoat and not a ball gown. You have news about my husband. What's Seamus done this time? Forget to pay his bill at the Rose. She seated herself and indicated the guards do the same. Donan nodded at the recruit to speak up. Jevlin started. No, Lady Dunwald, actually, she interrupted him with a wave. Marielle, please. Lady Marielle, your husband has been murdered. Donan took over for the flustered recruit. When did you see him last? Marielle stared at him, her jewel-colored eyes wide, and her voice cracked on. Murdered? Seamus. But a heartbeat, maybe two, passed, and she again became the perfect picture of noble grace. I saw him at dinner, she answered in a tone anyone might use to comment on the weather. He left before dusk. He said he was going to play Wicked Grace with the Comte de Fave. Do you know of anyone who might have wanted him dead? Jevin asked softly. People want magistrates dead on principle. She gave a wry smile, but her voice grew pained. Criminals, political rivals, even people in his district who disagreed with him. She drifted off, lost in thought, and then turned to Donan, eyes blazing. A week ago, a letter came. Vague threats. I thought it was nothing, but it upset Seamus. Who sent it? Donan asked. It wasn't signed, but the seal was 6 crossed swords.
See? I told you.
All right, all right.
dispatch for you.
I don't have time.
Yes, sir.
I doubt these were mere bandits. They moved with the efficiency of a trained group.
Saga of Jirda Brydax, Avar Mother. Tell the tale of Jirda Brydax, Mountain Maker, Spirit's Bride. Free her people, forged in fastness, made in mountains hardy hide. Wise in wisdom, calm in counsel, great in gifts her grateful guests. Sacrifice she did to spirits, took their teaching, follows quests. Bright her axe, unbreaking crystal, stirred to flame when temper flies. Gifted from her leaf-eared lover, laughing lady of the skies. Bested blades of all who tried, maiden spurning all requests, Jirda Brydax, dreamer's eyes, Avar Mother of her making.
there's a fight, not us. Remember how to carry your shields. You're not hiding, you're holding. Otherwise, it's useless.
Blackwall? Warden Blackwall?
You're not... How do you know my name? Who said... Ah! That's it. Help or get out. We're dealing with these idiots first. Conscripts, here they come! Sorry, bastards. Good work, conscripts. Even if this shouldn't have happened, they could have... Well, thieves are made, not born. Take back what they stole. Go back to your families. You saved yourselves. You're no farmer. Why do you know my name? Who are you?
I know your name because I'm an agent of the Inquisition. I'm investigating whether the disappearance of Wardens has anything to do with the murder of the Divine.
Maker's balls. The Wardens and the Divine. That can't... No, you're asking so you don't really know. First off, I didn't know they disappeared. But we do that, right? No more blight, job done. Wardens are the first thing forgotten. But one thing I'll tell you, no Warden killed the Divine. Our purpose isn't political.
So where are the rest of you?
I haven't seen any Wardens for months. I travel alone, recruiting. Not much interest because the Archdemon is a decade dead, and no need to conscript because there's no blight coming. Treaties give Wardens the right to take what we need, who we need. These idiots forced this fight, so I conscripted their victims. They had to do what I said, so I told them to stand. Next time they won't need me. Grey Wardens can inspire. Make you better than you think you are.
I wasn't aware Grey Wardens could take whatever they want.
It's complicated. If there's a blight, everyone has to help the effort to fight it. The treaties are ancient. Outside of blights, it's as binding as a clever tongue can make it.
Do you have any idea where the other Wardens could have gone?
Maybe they returned to our stronghold at Weishaupt? That's in the Anderfels, a long way north. I don't really know. Can't imagine why they'd all disappear at once, let alone where they'd disappear to.
Why haven't you gone missing like the rest of them?
Well, maybe I was going to. Or maybe there's a new directive, but a runner got lost or something. My job was to recruit on my own. Plan to stay that way for months. Years.
It's been a pleasure, Warden Blackwall. But this didn't help at all.
Inquisition. Agent, did you say? Hold a moment. The Divine is dead and the sky is torn. Events like these, thinking we're absent is almost as bad as thinking we're involved. If you're trying to put things right, maybe you need a Warden. Maybe you need me.
The Inquisition needs all the support it can get. But what can one Grey Warden do?
Save the fucking world if pressed. Look, maybe fighting demons from the sky isn't something I'm practiced at. But show me someone who is. And like I said, there are treaties. Maybe this isn't a blight, but it's bloody well a disaster. Some will honor them. Being a Warden means something to a lot of people.
Warden Blackwall, the Inquisition accepts your offer.
Good to hear. We both need to know what's going on. And perhaps I've been keeping to myself for too long. This warden walks with the Inquisition.
A letter found on the body of a bandit who stole from refugees in the hinterlands. The ink is smudged and only a few sentences can be made out. You can die pretending you'll earn back your soldier's honor, or you can do something with the skills that son of a bitch taught you. Spend some time with my boys. No one will know who you are in Ferelden. And it's not so bad. A little bit of smuggling, a little bit of extortion, you'll get used to it. The Orlesian Empire. There are many lords and ladies in Valroyo, and I mean this literally. Once the system of noble titles in Orlais was labyrinthine. There were barons and baronnes, and baronets and sub-barons, and a horde of others, each with its own origins and its own nuances of comparison. The Orlesian aristocracy is ancient and much given to competition, and all the nobility play the grand game as it is known, whether they wish to or not. It is a game of reputation and patronage, where moves are made with rumors and scandal as the chief weapon. No gentle game this. More blood has been drawn as a result of the grand game than any war the Orlesians have fought. Of this I am assured by almost every gentleman here. As far as titles went, everything changed with the coming of Emperor Drakon, who established the Orlesian Empire as it exists now and who created the Chantry. There is no more venerated figure in Orlais. In Valroyo, the statue of Drakon stands as tall as the statue of Andraste. Drakon determined that the grand game was tearing Orlais apart, so he established all titles besides his own and Lord and Lady. I am told, with some twittering amusement, that this action did not end the grand game as Drakon had intended. Now the lords and ladies collected unofficial titles rather than official ones, such as the exalted patron of Tassus Clay, or uncle to the champion of Trems. It is a headache to remember such titles, and one winces to think of the poor doorman at the balls who must rattle them off as each guest enters the room. The aristocracy is different from Ferelden in other ways as well. The Orlesians' right to rule stems directly from the Maker. There exists neither the concept of rule by merit nor the slightest notion of rebellion. If one is not noble, one aspires to be, or at least one aspires to be in the good graces of a noble, and is ever watching for a way to enter the patronage of those better placed in the grand game. And then there are the masks, and the cosmetics. I have not seen so much paint since the kennels at High Ever, but that is another story.
Looks like the mages are enjoying themselves.
The Templars aren't looking any better here.
We should move on. We can only restore order by securing an alliance.
Dwarven Runecraft. Within the Diamond Quarter of Orzammar lies the Shaperit, a branch of Dwarven society so ancient that the dwarves themselves do not know when or where it began. They are the keepers of history for a people who have never known the sun or seasons, and who track time by the lives and deaths of kings. But they are not mere historians, they are craftsmen, for the living history of the dwarves is not written but forged. The memories, as the dwarves call their records, are runes painstakingly crafted from lyrium, which contain the actual thoughts of the shapers who made them. The making of runes is not restricted solely to the shapers. The most commonly useful kind are crafted by many members of the smith caste from lyrium and other magically reactive metals, and can imbue a variety of fascinating new properties to an item when properly applied, just as the runes of Tevinter design do. But runes are found everywhere in Dwarven artwork, and not all serve a practical purpose, at least not one that's known. They are carved into houses and storefronts. They are embroidered on garments, etched in glassware, even painted on chamber pots. The meaning of these symbols themselves are sacred knowledge kept by the Shaperit. They are not, as many surface folk believe, the written language of the modern dwarves, but rather are remnants of a lost language that predates Orzammar, the Dwarven Kingdom, and even the tens of thousands of years of history recorded in the memories. The Shaperit recognizes the meanings of a few dozen Dwarven runes. Memory, obviously, is used for the record-keeping. Many have not so much been translated as inferred. Runes which decorate both armor and load-bearing architecture might very well mean strength or endurance. New symbols are unearthed now and then in the Fallen Tides, brought back by the Legion of the Dead and jealously hoarded by the Shapers who struggle to find their uses and origins. Were these symbols an earlier version of the written Dwarven tongue? A language that fell into disuse, replaced by the modern King's tongue? It's hard to guess, and the memories offer us no wisdom.
So in your books, the stuff with the spies is all wrong.
If only I'd had you around to consult.
That Blue Swan flies at midnight stuff doesn't work. Most times, you pass information on a dead drop. No meetings at all.
Ah, where's the drama in that?
Oh, can't you mess up the realism of something else? Like lyrium smuggling.